I'm here with Marta Piekarska, Director of Ecosystems for the Hyperledger project. Marta, what do you do as a Director of Ecosystems?
I lead the ecosystem. My role as a Director of Ecosystem is really threefolded. I manage and facilitate the relationship with all of the members of the ecosystem. Now, what defines an ecosystem in Hyperledger? The members of the ecosystem are our sponsoring members, so all of the companies and enterprises that pay the annual fee to be part of Hyperledger, and then all of the open source community, because Hyperledger is not pay to play. Anyone who participates in the meetups that Hyperledger organizes, all of the members, all of the open source community that comes to our working groups or participates in the phone calls, and of course everyone who submits patches to the bugs or submits bugs itself. These are all members. So anyone really who participates in the Hyperledger community gets exposed to interactions with me. Then I do public speaking and public outreach to evangelize Hyperledger and to make sure that everyone knows what Hyperledger is about. I really want to make sure that we understand why people want to work with us, why people want to use blockchain technologies, and help them use Hyperledger frameworks and help them understand what we do in Hyperledger so that they best apply our technologies and help us develop Hyperledger technologies better. To move that ecosystem forward.
Okay, so what constitutes a healthy ecosystem?
Participation and collaboration. These are the two main things. Without a very participatory community that contributes back whatever they do, and takes how much they want, we don't have a healthy ecosystem. It is an open source community. It is very much about push and pull. And this is what our role in Hyperledger is, to preach and make sure that people are aware of what we do, but also help people understand how to contribute best.
Okay. Are there any other examples of healthy ecosystems that you look to as an example?
Many of other Linux Foundation projects have great ecosystems that we look up to. Definitely Kubernetes is one of the staple projects. Some other blockchain communities, although these are just starting, what we really try to do is within our Hyperledger community build also collaborations, because in Hyperledger we build bring enterprises that normally outside of our ecosystem, outside of Hyperledger, are competitive, and we are trying to build an ecosystem, a space where they feel comfortable collaborating, because we have the biggest group of lawyers within Linux Foundation that help them protect their IP while working with open source, which is very unique. And this is something that we need to also encourage from our community and from our members, to feel comfortable to collaborate and contribute whatever they want to contribute, but then also let them protect whatever they need to protect.
Okay. Do you see any areas in which you still have considerable growth ahead?
Yes, there is a lot to be done in terms of how to encourage that contribution. One of our biggest challenges is that we don't, with open source, there's no way to track who is using your open source software, and there's a lot to be learned on how to encourage a contribution back. Today we see good amount of contributors, but way more people are using our software than contributing back. And every open source project struggles with with sustainability. How can we make sure that the bugs are getting fixed? Because no one is getting paid for fixing bugs, while everyone is getting the benefit of downloading the code. So this is a problem for our community as well.
Okay. How do you think something like the Blockchain Hackathon can help develop ecosystems like yours, but the whole ecosystem as well?
It helps with promoting the concepts of open source. It helps with definitely with spreading the word about blockchain. It helps with solving the world's biggest problems. This is what this is about. The quests defined here are the ones on that target the world's biggest problems, and that's what gets me out of bed participating in events like this one. And that's why I'm very proud that we are technology partners of Blockchaingers. I think that getting more participation from startups that understand the benefit of collaborating within an ecosystem like that and have the energy to contribute back while also taking from that ecosystem is very important.
Okay. Looking forward to the upcoming Blockchain Hackathon, what would your top tips be for somebody preparing to take part?
Do your research, see what others have already done in that space, and don't double the work, but reach out to the people who already have done the things that you might be doing and ask if you can reuse their work. Make sure that you don't see blockchain as your ultimate solution, but just an accelerator and improvement to your bigger solution. Blockchain will not solve your problem. It's just a tool that will improve whatever you're doing, and you have to build a wholesome solution to your problem, especially when you're aiming to solve problems like identity, healthcare, pensions. These are big problems that can't be solved within just a flip of your fingers.
No. Last question. Looking forward beyond the next Blockchain Hackathon, what do you think are the biggest wins we can probably achieve in the coming year, 2 years?
With blockchain?
Yes.
I think blockchain has or brings the opportunity to change the way we think beyond the 3-year time frame that we currently have, because of its immutability properties, because of its removing of trust, or changing the way we think about trust between transacting between parties, but also because it enforces collaboration, which is great, and because it allows small parties that up until now needed to or couldn't enter the market so easily. Now these startups that are here can easily enter the market or have much lower entry barrier. I think these are great benefits of having a technology like blockchain. But I think we can't really rush with deployment. We have to be very careful of what we put up on the blockchain.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.